In this video, we're going to be offering valuable insights into traveling to Canada, Australia, or the UK to study. We're also going to be answering frequently asked questions that has come up in my past videos that I did. Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Onyi Anekwe. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Do consider subscribing. I also want to thank everyone who has followed my relocation vlog. So I got quite a few questions about how we relocated to the UK. So I thought to invite subject matter experts to really answer your questions and give more insight into studying abroad. If you're joining us live, we're so thrilled to have you here. Welcome to our very first YouTube live. And let's know where you're tuning in from in the comment section. If you're watching this as a recording, please do not forget to drop your comments. Joining us in this enlightening session are two amazing guests. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. I think I have one person here right now. The other person will be joining us in.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Jude Agbasa. I'm based in the UK and particularly Sheffield in the UK. I run a company or the regional manager of a company called IECC, International Education Counseling Center. I'm the regional manager, and we have our branch office in Abuja, Nigeria, while the head office is in UK. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I've been in the industry for about 19 years now. So whatever questions, whatever information you're getting here, it is going to be top notch and it's the right information.
Thank you so much, Jude. The first question would be, so for anyone considering moving to the UK or to Canada or Australia to study, what is the very first thing they need? What's the basic requirement they need to have in terms of the documents before they even think of going into or starting up this process?
So yeah, that's a lovely question, and a lot of people do things at the last minute. So it's good that you asked the question. What a lot of people need, is and what will take a lot of time for Nigerians is their transcript, their academic transcript. So we advise that you get that transcript as early as possible. Most best approach is as soon as you graduate, start processing that transcript. You will need your academic certificate as well. We all know that Nigeria, basically, some of the certificates, you don't get it almost immediately. So it's something that you need to try and process as quickly as possible. You also need your academic reference. So while you're in school, it's better to get all these things done, before leaving school, because it becomes a lot more difficult when you're doing it from outside of the school, and probably your working life and the course of your day, you may not have enough time to do it. So pretty much do it once you graduate. But those that have already graduated years ago, it's best you start on that now. And if you're looking at the 2024 intakes, you need to start now. Because for January, pretty much in the UK, a lot of the applications are closing at the moment. But we're lucky enough to have February, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December intakes in the UK at the moment. I think my colleague will also speak about the Canadian market. I know they have the winter, fall seasons, but she'll be more skilled to answer that question. Going back to the documentations, you also need your international passport. International passport has to be at least 6 months, have a 6 months validity on them, from the start of your course date. So it's not like you're looking at your passport now and it's like, okay, it's going to have, it has 6 months validity, I'm okay to apply. No, it's valid from the start date of your course. For example, if your course is starting in February 2024, you need to have 6 months validity after February 2024. So that is key as well. academic reference, I've mentioned that for the working class, basically, you need a work reference as well. Now, bear in mind that, these are not just documentations you just get and, you accept it for what it is. There are certain criteria, certain requirements that you need to make sure that it's included in those documents. First of all, it should be on a letter-headed paper, of the company or the organization you are getting those reference from. You would also need for it to be stamped, signed, and dated no later than 6 months to your course start date. Some people can stretch it, or some universities over here can stretch it for about a year, but it shouldn't be more than a year, dated more than a year old, okay? You would also need your O-levels qualification, which a lot of Nigerians know as WAEC. You would have to have a minimum of C6 in your English in some courses, while other courses, health-related courses, you may be requiring C5. It all depends on the school, but that's why we are here. IECC is here, to guide you every step of the way. We make your journey quite seamless, honestly, from start to finish. And even while you're in the UK, we still take calls on trying to manage, and enlighten people about life in the UK as well, because we've been here as long as I can remember, So, going back to the documents as well, you need your CV, which should include your the month and year of the places you have worked in, okay? That is simply to identify any gaps in any study gaps, because that's a key requirement. I'll talk about that later in terms of visa refusals. It's one of the key things that, people are being refused for study gaps, unable to explain what they've been doing for a certain period of time, to current date, okay? Also, the most important document you will also need is your statement of purpose, okay? The statement of purpose simply means that, you need to identify why you need to come to the UK to study, why that particular course, why that particular university, and equally what your future plans are. Now, we work closely with our partner universities, over 100 plus of them, and a lot of times people think that the SOP is not important. It's actually the first document they look at, okay? And that tells them a story about yourself. So if you can't sell yourself in your SOP, then you are pretty much 50%, out of the way. But as soon as you're able to provide legitimate and extensive write-up about yourself, your situation, why the UK, why that particular course, why that particular university, what your future plans are, you will be 90%, foot in already. So it's quite important, and it's quite important to have experts, coach you on these things. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, you actually mentioned a lot of things that I didn't, especially with the passport. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that there was kind of some timing to it. So I think our other guest has joined us. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. And before you came in, we were talking about the requirements, and Jude has, gone through the requirements for the UK. So we're looking for you to also go through the requirements for Australia and Canada.
Okay. Hello, my name is Jumai. One of the staff of IECC Nigeria. So I was starting with Canada. Canada is known for its welcoming immigration pathway. So many students actually apply to Canada because of the PR intake, that's the permanent residence, which is actually quite fine. And Canada is a country that is very, very welcoming. And so I've just been briefing about the parts of the requirements, the documents needed for application to
Exactly.
Canada. First thing first, you need your degree certificate, your transcripts, your reference letter, just like my other colleague mentioned. It has to be well dated. Your responsibility and your roles have to be stated. The role you play in the company, your duty, and the duration we should join the company. If you are still working there, it should be also be stated there. It should be signed and stamped. Okay. So also moving to the IELTS. If you have an IELTS exam, it's fine. If you don't have the WIA can pass. It's a minimum of 6.6, or your NECO can actually pass. Some school actually request for the WIA crash card pin so as to verify the WIA through the WIA portal. So when you're submitting your application, your documents, so it's always recommended that you just submit it with your WIA crash card pin. Moving to Australia, Australia is very, very mandatory when it comes to the English test. So IELTS or TOEFL is very, very important, be it the undergraduate or the postgraduate level. I'll just be doubling both together, Canada and Australia parts. So for the Canada, they have a lot of visa refusal. I think based on 2020 ratio, I was able to get around 25-30% visa refusal for just this year. And the number one reason is because of the bank statement, the proof of funds. Many students just put in an application without having thorough check about their proof of fund, the ties that's connecting them back to the Nigeria, their home country.
Sorry,
You know,
I'm going to pause you for a bit. So you're going to give us some of those details in a bit. So I want to know, like, based on your experience, what is the pathway that most students are tending to now? Because I know, like, with the UK, there's been a lot of changes in terms of, even yesterday I saw somewhere that they have increased IHS fee and some other fees, and they have also stopped people from coming into the UK with their dependents. I think from January that's going to be taking effect. So based on your experience, what is the pathway? Now I'm throwing this out to both you and Jumai as well. What's the best pathway at this point for someone who is considering relocating with their family, like using the study route as a route to relocate with their family? Which of these countries is the most favorable at this point?
at this point, I'll pick Canada, actually.
Okay. Okay,
I'll pick
Jude, in
Canada.
your opinion, what do you think? And please give me your
Yeah,
reasons.
in my opinion, I would pick Canada as well.
Okay.
However, there is still an opportunity, for the UK. Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of research being done at the moment, in terms of people that want to bring their families in. But before I say that, let me clarify something. A lot of people think that, from people that have got their offers for, say, between September and December 2023, cannot bring their families in after work. Now, the law states that as far as your course has started within 2023, at any point you will be able to bring in your dependents, further
Even
along
even
the line.
if even if they are not, like, do you mean if you're there in the UK already studying, but your dependents
Yes,
haven't joined you yet? Is that what you
yes,
mean?
yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly. So people that have come without their dependents at this point, but there's, as far as the studies, get up until December 2023, they will still be able to bring in their families, further along the line. Okay, so that is one. I just needed to clarify that. However, people see relocation basically. I would say, because we're a study abroad agent, the primary intention, is to come into the UK to study, to better yourself, to gain more experience, and then whatever you decide to do afterwards, is pretty much your business. However, um, people on the PhD route, because there's something we call academic level in the UK. You have the NQF level 6, which is the undergraduate program, NQF level 7, which is the master's program, and NQF level 8, which is the PhD route. Okay, any research-based route. Now, what they have stopped currently is up until the NQF level 7. But NQF level 8, which is the PhD route, you will still be able to bring in your family. and we know a lot of Nigerians, have their masters already, so those particular set of people will still be able to bring in their families while doing their PhD studies over here.
So, guys, what I heard you'd say is that if you already have a master's, because I know that most people who come here to do a master's already have a master's prior to the time they apply for another master's in the UK. So,
Yeah.
if you're really looking to bring your family, then maybe you should consider going for a PhD instead of a master's. So that way you're able to, bring your family along with you. So I'm going to ask the next question I'll be asking is Jumai was talking a little bit about visa refusals. And so I'd like to know from your experience, what are the most common reasons for visa refusals? Like from the clients you've had so far, what are the common reasons that make most people's visas get refused?
Okay. First and first, like I mentioned earlier, is the bank statement. So most students don't have enough idea and knowledge about the bank statement and how it should be and the particular amount it should be in the bank account. So
Okay.
for Canada, you have to have at least 20 to 30,000 Canadian dollar in your account for a period of 6 months, a duration of 6 months. Though some schools will allow 3 months, but it's mostly advisable for it to be 6 months duration. If you are coming with your dependent maybe later on, because it's always advisable for you to go first, then later apply for your dependent, be it your wife or your child. So you're going to go with your dependent, that's the wife, add extra 4,000 Canadian dollar to the amount already in the bank. If you're going to go with your child, add extra 3,000 for each of the child. So most
Okay.
people don't have this idea and knowledge about the money that should be in the account. They just think that particular amount is enough for the whole family, which is totally wrong. Secondly, is the study gap. The study gap for undergraduates is a 2 years duration. If it's more than 2 years, it's advisable for you not to go for a bachelor's degree.
I think we lost her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can go ahead and explain in your own experience why people who apply to schools in the UK get refused their visas. Is back.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead or do you want her to go ahead?
Okay, go ahead and finish off, Jumia. Jumai, I keep calling you. Sorry.
Okay, yes, it's fine. Yeah, the study gap. So for postgraduate, it's 5 years, while undergraduate is 2 years. And thirdly, is the family ties. So you have to have a family tie back in your home country. I know
Okay.
most students that are in the SOP, they just like badmouth their country, where they're from, the economic situation of their country, and all, which is not also advisable. Because in Canada, there's something called letter of intent. Letter of intent is like the SOP, but should be more well detailed and well explanation. So don't just go ahead and go and start badmouthing your country that you don't want to come here, the economic is bad. You have to still tell them that you are coming back here after your study because they believe you are just coming here to come and study and go back there and impact that knowledge in your community. So you have to come back. You have to give them a reason for you to come back. And also properties. You have to have like a valuable asset, actual valuable asset that is worth the tuition fee. So don't go as a broke man, that with a broke man mentality and think you can actually like study and work and pay your tuition fee. It's not always advisable. Fine, even if you are going to study and work, which is fine, you don't have to also put it there, like include it in your SOP that you'll be working, you don't have enough money and all. You can get the admission, go to the school and apply for scholarship. It's fine. But don't just put it in your SOP and all that you don't have enough finances and all. It's also one of the reasons. And for Canada, even if you are rejected, you can still apply again. Same thing with Australia. If you are rejected, there's a letter they will give you. In that letter, you can actually reapply again within 28 days of the visa rejection. You can apply again, take it to the tribunal court, you can apply, you just pay a fee. Yeah, you just pay a fee. And if the reason actually valuable and can I give them more explanation and more details and more documents on why you should actually reconsider you, they're going to get the visa.
Yeah,
So
this is
another
why
point,
this is why it's actually very important to if you're able to work with an agent, especially if you're applying to Canada. Because I remember we applied to Canada first before coming here to the UK, and we messed up the whole proof of fund thing. So we got rejected. So yeah, I just needed to point that out. So Jumai, continue.
If I know what you're saying. Okay, another one is also your documents. Make sure you submit a genuine document. Don't go and bring a fake document because they're going to verify it. Most Canada schools, when you submit a reference letter, they always reach out back to the referees. They reach out back to them. They contact them. They ask them about you. So don't go and doctor the particular just a random reference or anything and just and submit to them. It's going to implicate your application, visa application. And once it's not like a genuine document, they're going to ban you. And even if you try reapplying again, you're still going to get rejected. And some schools are actually like you actually like pay your deposit. It will be non-refundable because of the reason of the rejection. Yeah, for the reason of the rejection. So
Wow,
there are
thank
a
you.
lot of it. I don't want to take too much of your time. I will pass
Yeah,
it
I
like
understand. If they need more answers, I'm sure they would, you know,
yeah.
yeah, reach out to you through the link. Okay. So Jude, can you go ahead and just throw a little bit of insight into the refusals with UK in your experience?
So yeah, I think Jumai has pretty much run through most of the details. It still applies to the UK and the UK as well. A lot of people, first of all, the bank statement, the proof of funds. Let me just say for one, like in the UK, a lot of people should understand how to sell, how to calculate this proof of funds. You understand? Um, Say for instance, you get your deposit, you pay your deposit is say £4,000, whatever balance you have on your tuition, in addition to two criteria which the UKVI has set. One is if you're studying in London, you need to have an additional £12,001, right? And if you're studying outside of London, it's £9,207, right? So in addition to the balance of your tuition, you would have that money saved up in your account for a minimum of 28 days, right? Now, a lot of the visa refusals we get, is because probably not their fault. Probably at the time when they were applying, they had the right amount of money with the Rwanda conversion rate, right? But with the situation in Nigeria where the naira to the pound, is exponentially increasing, a lot of people have been denied on this basis. So it's important to know that, when you are putting up your POF, your proof of funds, you should add an additional amount of millions, let me put it that way. Say in my own experience, add about 2, 3, 4 million in the account, so that at the time when they're looking at your visa application, you have enough. So it's unfortunate, that a lot of some of the visa rejections we've been getting are rejections of applications that were made far back as July. Do you understand? And then the rate at July was different, pretty much different to what we have now. So a lot of people are being rejected, So it is important that we know the amount of money we need to put in, and that's why we are here for you again. We see these things, we anticipate it, we project it, and then advise you accordingly. Okay, that is one. Second of all, some people that come in as that they have a sponsor, maybe a workplace sponsorship or parent sponsorship, where they can't physically have the money in their account, is an issue. People have come to me to say, look, my dad wants to sponsor me. He wants to write a sponsorship letter. In addition to that is wrong. Because here in the UK they have what you call um, sustainability tests. So they will identify how many kids your dad has or your parents, how many siblings your parents have, or I'm sorry, siblings you have. You understand? And then calculate income and expenses, and then see if whatever your dad is. Say for instance, your dad has 10 million in his account, and your study abroad expense is about 8 million. That is a straight rejection because they know that Somebody cannot take out 8 million of his savings, and still be able to sustain his day-to-day and his family. So it's important that you advise whoever is you advise your financier to always put that money in your account and have it accessible to you, if you get what I mean. So it's really, really important that you do that as well. Again, some people are being called for interviews in the UKVI, and these interviews, you need to be prepared for these interviews. If you have any such case, and you are with our organization, we will definitely school you on the likely questions that would pop up from that, and with your situation, we'll be able to advise you accordingly how to answer those questions. Okay, so that's pretty much it for me. And again, the aspect of ties back home, UK is not as strict as Canada and Australia, wanting properties, wanting to show properties and strong ties back home. It is simply the fact that you need to state it in your statement of purpose, that you will be attaining knowledge in the UK and coming back to your home country, to develop yourselves and your country. So yeah, I think that's pretty much in addition to what Jumai has said, that's pretty much some of the rejection reasons we've had in the past.
Okay, so this session is actually aimed at being an interactive session. So if you're here and you have any questions, because I see there are people who are joined in as guest speakers. Yeah, so if you're here and you have any questions, you could just add it to the chat, and then I'm going to read it out to them to respond to. So I'd like to ask, because one of the questions that I have gotten like very often is, can I apply for a course that is different from what I studied in my BSc, or would that prevent me from getting the admission, or would I be refused? So that's one question I think I would want you to actually throw more light on. Can people actually apply for courses different from what they studied? And if yes, how can they, like, what's the best approach?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, Onyi. I was going to come to that, but since you brought it up, basically, yes, the answer to your question is yes, you can apply from a different discipline to another discipline. Reasons being that you've had a career change. Reasons being that a lot of Nigerians know that when growing up, you're either forced to be a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, and all that stuff, and it pretty much just streamlines your ability or your interest. You understand? And after you're done with that, and you feel like, oh, this course wasn't for me. I've had this degree from my parents. Yet have your degree certificate. I'm going on my way to do my own thing. So we come across that a lot. And the answer to that question is yes. And I'll give you an example. An example is somebody that studied construction management, construction engineering, civil engineering. And the person comes and says, oh, I'm really not interested in the engineering bit, I'm more of an entrepreneur. You could come and say, look, I want to do project management. It applies, we guide you and we identify, we counsel you, to say, look, yes, engineering to management, is also attainable, because if you decide one day you want to own a construction company, yes, you have the prerequisites to understand the business. You also need that project management skill, to manage your team. You understand? So yes, the answer to that question is yes. It's in the UK, basically, people change disciplines every day. You understand? No, I don't like this, I'm going for this. I don't like that, I'm going for that. You understand? So they perfectly understand that over here in the UK. And the strength of that, how do you convince them? It's through your SOP again. You understand? That SOP is the killer. It's something that you need to, we would guide you through it. We advise people, they write the SOPs, we say, look, go back here, and change this, do it in a proper way that, it's clear to the university what your intentions are. So it is perfectly possible. I hope that answers your question.
I would say for Canada, yeah. Is it okay? Yeah. For Canada, yeah, it's not all that really advisable if I'm being sincere. Because I will actually tell you the main fact of it is fine. It's possible, but the chances are actually kind of slim, yeah, because they actually want a progression in Canada. Same thing with Australia too. You have to like be progressing from a particular degree to another one, and even if you are going to like change your line of study, at least have an experience in that new course of direction. Do you understand? Have an experience there. Okay, for example, you studied chemistry and you want to go for nursing. Before you apply for nursing, I believe you must have had experience in the healthcare section. You must have performed as an auxiliary nurse for a particular amount of time, like 3 5 years, before you come and apply for nursing. So all these things actually like points like is a very good point. And also in your SOP, this has to be mentioned the reason why you studied the chemistry in the first place, and also the reason why you think nursing is not the new line of profession for you. Give tangible and valuable reason for it, and also very important, have experience in the new course of study.
Okay, thank you. So, can someone that had a third class in their first degree still go ahead to do a master's program? Is that something that is possible?
Yes, it's absolutely possible. We've had a lot of people because at some point, in the market, we started to deal with the bottom of the barrel, and there is a market for it as well. I'll be honest to you. There are two ways you can go directly for um, what you call an extended or enhanced masters. That would cover the third class, or you could go for the more expensive option, which is the pre-masters courses. So that gives you about 6 to 9 months prior to the main course, where you would have to prove yourself, that you can study at that level. So yes, the answer to that question is yes, you can. And there are certain intakes in a year that would accept that. Majorly July and November.
Oh, oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How about for Canada and Australia? Do you mind?
Like the pre-masters, there's something similar to that in Australia too. The pre-masters program, before 8 month duration, you can actually apply to it before you go for your main master's program. But for Canada, actually, I will just be very sincere because most of the entry requirements states that second class average level of a B, and that one second class average level of a B in Nigeria academic qualification is a 2-1. You start from 3.5 all over 5.0 over one Nigerian academic setting. Do you understand? So for someone to have a 3.4, that's 2-1 already, which is not actually qualified for a master's program. So someone that has a third class program, I would just advise person go for a college to college, that's a diploma or a graduate certificate to be on a safer side because you can just put in an application, pay application fee, and have high hopes. And at the end of the day, you won't get the offer. So
Oh,
it's just better for you to just apply for a program you know you're actually more than qualified for. Do you understand? Yeah.
so colleges are actually meant for people who do not meet the requirements for the university. Is that it?
Not just all of them, but they're kind of more lenient with their
Oh,
requirements compared to a master's program. Yeah.
okay, okay. So, Jude, I would like you to talk a little bit about how your company actually comes in to helping with some of these processes we've talked about, just in a bit.
Yeah, thanks, Sonia. My company, IECC Nigeria, we're actually a UK-based company. We have branches in Nigeria, we have branches in the West Indies, we have branches in Bangladesh, in India, in Nepal. So we have been in the industry for about 19 years now, and we understand the entire study abroad journey. You know, what sets us aside from other study abroad agents is the fact that we take our clients personal. We have that personal relationship. We start with the counseling. After the counseling, we start with the admissions process. get you an offer. That offer could be a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. A lot of times we understand that these people don't even have the patience, to read through their offers. So we pretty much identify every condition on that offer that needs to be met, advise them accordingly how to meet those conditions. We even go as far as making payments for their tuition, from our UK business cards over here. You understand? And we go further to do visa application as well. And prior to their visa applications, we tell them exactly how much needs to be in the account. You understand? And we equally help with that as well. We also do accommodation services as well. Some people get the accommodation prior to getting into the UK, which makes it seamless. We work with landlords, we work with agents. You get what I mean? Our accommodation service is top notch, and I'm pretty sure you came through that service as well, Onyi, right? So yeah, so it's pretty top notch, and we also do airport pickups. You get what I mean? And not just that, our journey doesn't end there. Our journey also, once you've arrived in the UK, we take calls every now and then to advise you on life in the UK. You understand? As simple as sorting out your bank accounts, sorting out your bills. We work with energy companies as well. The best energy company in the UK here now. You understand? So we can offer that service to you as well. You get what I mean? And a lot of times our clients are 99% of the time our clients are pretty happy with our services. And we are still in communication with people we've brought 10 years ago. You get what I mean? We're still in communication with them. They call us on everything. It's unbelievable how much detail we help out with. Even as much as people that have come in. How do you operate your heating? How do you operate your gas? You get what I mean?
Exactly. That one was an issue for us.
Someone once told me that he was locked out of his house. You get what I mean? I was like, look, you're not locked out of your house. It's just the way, or he couldn't lock the door when he was leaving the house. And it was as simple as just raising the handle up.
Raising the handle, yes.
So it is we go. So pretty much we're there for you from the start to the very time you feel like you can survive on your own. So that is what sets us aside.
Yeah. So I did this video of how we got our house before relocating to the UK, and I had a lot of people ask me, who helped, who helped, who helped. So this is the same company that actually helped make that possible. So I'm going to be dropping their details in the description of this video, because I'm going to be posting this, live session as a YouTube video when we're done. Everything you need to be able to reach out to Jude and Jumai is going to be in the description of this video. So if you have your questions, please go ahead, drop them in the comment section so that they can answer those questions. Another question I get people ask me a lot, because everybody understands the way the economy of the country is right now in Nigeria, making money and then converting that your naira to either Canadian dollars or to pounds is a lot. So people always would ask, are there scholarships that I can get for schools in Canada or Australia or the UK? So kindly throw a little light into that. Are there scholarship opportunities for these three countries?
Let me start. Yes, they are. And there is a range of scholarship programs, available to our partner universities. Um, a lot of people want to go for 100% scholarship. That is equally possible, but you have to do it through a third party link, not directly with the school. You have like Chevron scholarships and Marshall scholarships and all that. But what you can get and what we can guarantee you is schools that offer up to about £6,000 scholarship in the UK. We some of these scholarships are applied automatically when you get your offer with them. Some of them you would have to apply independently of your offer. So, but we would always advise you. We have a team that deals particularly with scholarships, and just to make it easy for our students, because we understand that it's pretty hard, in Nigeria at the moment. So whatever you can shave off, we would help you. We would help you with that. That's on the UK angle. So yeah, I think Jamal would have something to say about the Canadian and Australian angle.
For the Australian angle, yeah, there are plenty, like enough scholarship opportunities. Example, the Australian award scholarship, yeah. And for Canada also, even if when you have a very good grades from either from your O level or from your bachelor's, you can actually have a lot of opportunity to actually apply and reach out. You can even reach out to the professors yourself, reach out to the professors or the school, the vice chancellor of the school, reach out to them yourself, write a very good letter, a proposal to them, tell them you're interested in this and that. They can actually give you, you can even volunteer to work in the school. You get paid and also to get a scholarship. Is that juicy? And also regarding the finances, another thing about Canada, I'll keep advising people is that you can is your family can actually come in to assist you. Your dad can sponsor you, your mom can sponsor you, your relatives, your uncles, your aunties, even up to your in-laws. If you are married and you want to actually travel to Canada, if you don't have the money, your in-laws can sponsor you. The only thing you just have to prove is the evidence. How you guys are relating, your relatives, your siblings, show the evidence that you guys are actually related. So I think that is kind of much more easier compared to UK. That's either the spouse or the self-funded.
Yeah, I think self-funded, or your parents. That's pretty much it. So it's either yourself, your spouse, or your parents. Anybody outside your parents in the UK is not going to be accepted. I think you're on
I
mute,
think you're on
Onyi.
you. Yeah.
Sorry. I have a question. Chiamaka is asking, if someone applies for masters in the UK, is it possible to get into the UK with their dependent before January against the policy of not coming in with dependents from next year?
So yeah, I think we've already covered this. Basically, it all depends on the start date of your course. Now, if your course starts in in January, and you've gotten everything you need and you want to come in December, that is not going to be allowed. It's the simple fact that your course has started in January wouldn't entitle you to bring in your dependents. But if your course had started in December of 2023, then and you want to bring in your family in March or April 2024, that is acceptable. I hope that answers her question.
Okay. So for Australia, can one also relocate with their family? And are there benefits? Because I hear that with Australia, the kids are not entitled to free education and something like that. So, could you throw a little more light on relocating with family to Canada and Australia? Do you mind?
Yeah, for Canada and Australia, you can actually relocate with your family. The best way to actually relocate with family is when the applicant actually enroll to the school. Then after like a month, 2 months, you can actually like apply for your dependent to come in. I'm still having with the fact that their living expenses has been included in your proof of fund details. Same to also go with Australia. They also have their own dependent living expenses. I think for the dependent, the wife is 7,000, and the child is 3,000. So Australia actually have a lot of benefits. To be frank, among many of it is the PR. So the same way that goes with Canada also goes with Australia as the PR benefits. And regarding the children benefits of the making payment for the education, actually I'll take that as a means because I've not it has been verified because it's not very yeah I'll take it as a means because I haven't seen anything like that before. So yeah, I haven't seen anything like that before, and there's also a lot of benefit for Canada also, like the education, free education, and so same to also go with Australia for a particular age actually. So I think when it gets around 12 and above, the parents actually be the one sponsoring these children. But to a particular age, from like 3 years old to 12 years old, the country is the one in charge of your expenses or the child expenses in the education aspect.
Yeah, so something a lot of people will be interested in hearing is after studies, what next? What happens next? So, are there pathways for both Australia, Canada, and the UK for people to eventually settle and, live with their families in the countries where they studied?
Yeah, for Canada, yeah, when you're done with your study, for a master's program, which is a 2 year program, you are entitled to a 3 year work permit, post study work permit. Yeah. So if a postgraduate certificate or a 1 year program is a 1 year work permit, so within that range of 1 year, you can actually like be in search of a job and even apply for your PR. Do you understand? You can even apply for your PR. And you having a Canadian certificate, Canadian degree, it gives an upper hand. It increases your score in the pool, in the IRCC pool. It increases your score and give an upper hand. And there are some provinces that we actually have partnership with, like we have partnership with the schools there that have the very fast rate of giving out issuing out PR to students. So same thing for Australia. They have up to 3 to 5 years post study work permit also for Australia, 3 to 5 years. And even also for Australia, they're even thinking of even increasing their work duration from 40 hours fortnight to 48 hours fortnight. So is
Is
another
that
thing.
for students who are for
Yeah, for
students?
still who are studying, yeah, from
Okay,
40
okay.
hours to 48 hours.
Oh wow,
Even
that's
from
that's really
student,
nice.
yeah.
So for Canada, within 3 to 4 years, one can get their PR. Is that what you're saying?
It's not until you stay for 3 to 4 years. When after your study, if it's a 2 year program, after your study, the third year of you working, you can start then and even get it before the year runs out.
Oh wow. Then
Before the year runs out.
For Australia,
For Australia also there's a key point also for like a score, like something similar to the Canada CRS, the
okay,
cumulative ranking system. Yeah, something similar to that also like a score. Having a Australian degree, your work experience, and also your age. If you are between the age of 18 to 44, you also have a particular point that will add to your points. It also increase your chance of getting a PR. So
okay,
anyone above the age of 44, 45 is not always advisable to go through the studio to get their PR because they won't be getting any points and the work experience it won't just be really advisable.
okay, okay. So how about for UK?
Right. So UK is a bit more conservative.
Yes.
it, is, it is quite conservative, but yeah, what it is, it's what it is, what it is. The information is, um, after your studies, you're entitled to PSW, which is your post-study work visa, and that is 2 years. As soon as you're finishing, you apply for that, you get your 2 years. Within that 2 years, if you are lucky, right? Let me put it that way. You will get sponsorship. You have to show that you're quite exceptional, in what you do, and the fact that your company appreciates the kind of work you do for them. You know, we also have schools that we can fit you in. Where they have on-campus recruitment. So as soon as you're finishing your program, you understand you are being recruited by companies like Airbus, companies like Microsoft. You get what I mean? And in those cases, they are most likely going to give you what you call your tier two visa, even without having to apply for your PSW. You get what I mean? So there are certain partners we work with that they have such a program in their universities where you can benefit from that kind of scheme. You know, yeah, UK is you pretty much once you get in, you would have to work your way up through the ladders. And the end game is pretty much if you have to remain in the country, get a sponsorship that would help you remain in this country, work, and pay your taxes. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so is there an advantage of the 2 year course over the 1 year course? Like, is there really any difference? Does it really matter whether it's a 1 year program or a 2 year program?
Difference is 2 year program. Your legs have to be strong on the ground, financially, to cover a 2 year program. In terms of PR, it doesn't make a difference.
For the
A
UK,
lot of
right?
for the UK, a lot of people would say that a 1 year program, they're better off getting a 1 year program because the what's it called again? The indefinite leave to remain,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, takes a process of about 5 years working in an established organization. It doesn't take account of your study yet. It doesn't take account of your PSW yet. So if you have to come in as a 1 year program and do a 2 year post study, that 3 years doesn't count towards your long residency in the UK. So if you now have to go for a 2 years, it's going to be a 4 year timeline that wouldn't count for your long residency in the UK. So bear that in mind, guys.
So does it apply for the dependent as well? Because the main applicant gets to study, but the dependent is working. So does that not getting the indefinite leave to remain or whatever within 5 years or what you just explained, does it really apply to the dependents as well or just the student?
Now, the 5 years working route, it's not particularly just any kind of work. You still have to be sponsored on that tier too.
Oh,
So assuming a main applicant coming to study, dependent comes in as well, you understand, and is lucky enough to get a job that sponsors on tier two, then the 5 years timeline starts to count from then. Okay. So it's not that you come in here and you're just jumping from one role to the other or just working, in a particular sector, and at the end of the day you feel like that's going to give you your 5 years residency route. It wouldn't.
okay. Okay. How about for Australia and Canada? Does the duration of the course count for anything?
Yeah, actually, it does count. For a program of 1 year, you can only get 1 year post study work permit. For a program of 2 years, you enter into 3 years. So the only thing like kind of advisable is your 1 year program should be like a co-op program. The co-op is like you having like going for like, a internship or training during your course of study. So it's like a two-in-one package. You are studying and for a particular period of time, you also be working in your field. So that can actually like extend your stay kind of. You understand? Extend your stay. So when you're even applying for your PR, so you're actually inputting in that you have a degree from Canada, also have an experience in Canada. You get
Okay.
and actually increase your chance of getting the PR. So the duration of the study actually.
How about for Australia?
I think also go for Australia, though most of their master's program there's 2 years, there's 1 year. This year there's 1 year. But for undergraduate for Canada is just a unlike UK, like the foundation pathway. For Canada, I didn't want to talk about that. The undergraduate part is a 4 year program. Yeah, it's a 4 year program. So it's incorporated together with the foundation. So if you have your O level, you go for a UTP one, that university transfer program, go for UTP one. You just come in directly. So it's a 4 year embedded program. And when you're also done, you get your 3 to 5 years work permit. Do you understand? So
Okay.
any program above 2 years, 3 year one, you are entitled to 3 to 5 years work permit.
Okay. So it's actually like 4 minutes shy of 1 hour. So we've been talking for quite a while now. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be dropping a link in the description of this video because I'm going to be posting it as soon as we're done. That link is for you to be able to reach out to Jude and Jumai to help you start your journey to studying either in the UK, Canada, and Australia. Trust me, if you have somebody holding your hand and guiding you through this process, it saves you a lot of stress. I know how transitioning. Okay, so let me tell you, we came in and, like he said, even closing the door was like it was an issue. So we got help, and with sorting the beans and with electricity, setting up electricity, broadband, all those things, it was easy for us to just, transition, integrate into the system right away, because aside from the fact that we got a house, we also had someone we could reach out to, to ask questions. So I'm going to be dropping their link in the description of this video. Feel free to reach out to them and start this journey. The best time to start this journey is right now. You don't want to extend it. If you have questions, you can still drop it in the comment section of this video. Thank you so much for being a part of this live session. And I really want to appreciate Jude and Jumai for making out time from their very busy schedule to join us here and give us a little insight into what this process is. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone who has also made out time out of their busy schedules to be here, to be a part of this live session. Thank you so much. And
Thank
we
you.
hope to see you all sometime again when I bring them again live on this.
Thank you very much, Onyi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Onyi. Thank you. Glad to see
Bye.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.